We
are live from Ohio, and welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Off the Grid Headlines.
Yes.
And I'm Jared, and across
Aiden.
sitting from me is the Aiden with the World
trader,
Series
as he said.
From LA. What a disappointment! What a disappointment!
Jared does not agree. Jared does not agree with the apparel. Apparently, that I'm wearing.
Apparel. Apparently, I like what you did there.
Hey, hold on. Let me show you guys something. It's all because of this guy. Okay, we'll talk about this later. But I don't know if you guys can see that. But
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Unfortunately,
Jared is still pissed though. He's still pissed.
No, I just
We'll talk about this,
we'll talk about it. So that that kind of gives you a little bit of an insight.
I don't hate the Guardians. I'll just say that too.
So
But we'll talk about
to clear the air, but we'll
Yes.
we'll get to that section of the show.
Yes.
But we do have a lot to get to tonight,
Yes.
guys. First
Besides
of all,
baseball, actual important stuff.
So starting off, we're talking about the anti-Hamas protests that erupted in Gaza.
Which I'm surprised, by the way, first of all,
Yeah.
that Palestinians are actually protesting that, which is insane. You would think that, they'd still be on board as much as they were on October 7th when they attacked.
Yeah. So we'll dive into that. I'll explain why I was surprised to see some of this and pleased at the same time.
Yes.
But of course, we also will be talking about the Signal Chat group chat leak.
That is big news, guys. Big news.
It's big stuff. But we'll tell you why it was just not as big as people make it out to be, or as much as a scandal.
Yeah.
But we will talk about that, and of course we're going to talk about
because again, it was another excuse to make Trump look bad,
right?
When that's absolutely not the case.
And then we're also going to talk about the Snow White Disney disaster which failed.
Which I checked this morning, Jared.
Yeah,
it has a 1.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
From what I understand, it's like the worst
review
rating.
Disney film ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Wow.
And as let's see, where else? About Zelensky's prediction on Putin, apparently saying he's going to die soon. Which I'm interested to see what that's about.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we got a lot to talk about. And please, before we get into any of this, please do just subscribe to our Rumble channel. You guys know that we go live on here, and this is where we're streaming.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you want to follow our YouTube, we're also on YouTube.
Yes.
But, of course, we're not streaming on there, so...
Because of obvious reasons.
Yep, obvious reasons. And also, we want to be where all the action is.
Yes.
And this happens to be Rumble, so...
I think it's rising as a platform, dude. Honestly.
100%. Like we talked about last episode, Rumble is really growing as a social media platform, as a video platform.
Yes.
It's only getting bigger as years go on, and once you lose, if you miss the train first time around, well, you're screwed.
Miss the train.
You missed the train. I mean, that is what it is. But anyways, guys, please do follow us on our Rumble page. We go live at least once a week for the most part.
Which I am going to recommend our TikTok as well to follow that.
Yep, because we're doing more shorts from our main show. We just kind of chop them up, put them on there. Because, there's a lot that's said during, an episode off the grid. So,
yeah, you
guys will end up missing something. So,
which I don't know if they have only 10 more days to watch it, though, because of the ban. But
when's the ban up?
April, sometime in April, early April.
I guess we'll find out.
Right. But I mean, I don't foresee it happening. It happened once, and
it was down for barely a day,
and then it was back up. Yeah. So I think we're good. We have other platforms, so.
But yeah, we're also on X too. So follow us. We'll post.
We're known as OTG Podcasts on there, guys.
So follow us on there because we will post our shorts on there too. So say if, TikTok does go down in the United States, we're still available on X. But, reasons why I like TikTok is because we end up reaching a good amount of people on
We
there.
just got 600 views on the recent one, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. So, there's a lot of people on there that don't agree with us. It's a very liberal platform.
But it's traffic, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic, and, it's not bad. Good, traffic is traffic. So
beep,
baby.
beat my horn.
Not to toot my own horn. So our first thing we want
Yes.
to discuss is the rare anti-Hamas protests that erupted in Gaza.
Yes.
This is from the Daily Wire. Gazans took to the streets Tuesday to call for an end to Hamas's rule in a rare display of opposition to the terrorist group. Protesters marched through Beit I don't even know how to say that. Lahia?
Something like that, yeah.
In northern Gaza, carrying white flags demanding Hamas end its rule and calling for the Israeli hostages to be released.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
The first part, yeah, but whoa.
Yeah, that's insane to me. You just don't expect that.
Yeah.
In a video posted by the Center for Peace Communications, protesters are heard chanting, "Hamas, get out. Gaza's people don't want wars. They demand the end of Hamas's rule. They demand peace." In response, Hamas reportedly started to attack the protesters in the street, which doesn't surprise me.
No.
Despite hundreds of protesters participating, outlets that often cover Hamas favorably, such as Al Jazeera, have yet to give the protests any significant coverage.
Of course.
Yeah, go figure, right? According to Palestinian Christian activist Khalil Sayegh, yeah, the leaders of Gaza City's, Sayyid neighborhood called on Hamas to end its control and are urging more protests to take place tomorrow at noon. The protests marked the first time Gazans had taken to the streets to call for peace since January 2024, though those protests were smaller.
So let's dissect this. First of all, complete shock. First of all, that Palestinians are not only protesting Hamas, but are wanting Israeli hostages freed?
To me,
where was the switch there?
That's just insane to me because, I'll admit that, I might be wrong about some of this, when it comes to the Middle East. I don't claim to be a Middle East expert by any stretch, I was saying that, a lot of, the majority of the people in the Gaza Strip support those terrorists, right?
Right.
But now I don't know. I don't know if this is a majority of people that are, they kind of realize that Hamas is like, hey, Hamas is, they brainwashed us. They're doing a lot of bad stuff. And they kind of outlive their role there because they're making all these decisions. And people are like, okay, like I saw it maybe at first, what you were doing, but now it's like
maybe they were starting to see the footage of October 7th. Somehow.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know what Hamas is telling their citizens.
Like,
they could be telling them, everything's going hunky dory,
and yet and it pisses me off, and us in the U.S. will still support Hamas.
Yeah,
us in the college universities. What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how, the percentage of the population that actually supports Hamas versus the ones that are like, hey, we don't like Hamas. We want to, oust them.
It had to be pretty sizable for there to be a news report about it.
Right. And they're saying that it's a larger organization this time around than it was back in January of 2024.
Wait. That was tired of the bullcrap, probably.
So it's like a growing campaign.
Yeah.
And maybe they kind of see this as an opportunity to be like, look, now that the United States has Trump in office,
we're not scared anymore.
We're not scared anymore. Maybe we can speak out, say what we want to say, and maybe Trump will step in and get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's hard to get in the minds of.
Now, what do you see Hamas doing in response?
I see them, killing their own citizens. I think they're perfectly fine with doing that. I don't think they're opposed to doing that because, dude, they pretty much prevented them from getting any of that aid that Israel was sending in.
They stole all the money.
Yeah. Well, and all the food, all the resources. Because, see, the thing that cracks me up, or the thing that drives me nuts, rather, is the fact that this is an unheard of situation, right? Yeah. Israel is in the middle of a war.
Right.
They're sending resources into a war zone that they're at war
We said that
with.
last time. Yeah, we said that last time.
Yeah.
It's like...
So, but it's like, what good did that do? You're feeding into Hamas staying alive.
Well, risking your troops.
You know?
To do so.
Now, in a normal situation, in a wartime situation, the idea is to cut off the supply lines.
Yeah.
If you're in a war, like there's a, an area where the enemy's at, you cut off their supply lines so they can't get food, water, whatever, military supplies.
That's why during the Blitz, Germany cut out Britain's lights.
Right. Because you're
I mean, no. That's why they cut out. Maybe that was a defensive tactic.
I don't know. But they did, like a...
Might have been a bad example, but...
But anyways, the idea in most wars is not to send in aid to the area you're attacking.
Off.
Yeah. Which actually, if they would have cut off the aid and blocked ammunition from getting in, whatever, then they would have given up a long time ago.
Yeah.
This war has gone on too long, dude.
I agree fully, dude.
It's time to get it over with.
Let's end this thing.
And I'm hoping that, Israel's able to, get rid of those terrorists. And, like I was saying last podcast, it's like there's a lot of questions with what Trump wants to do with the region, about building it up, putting up a Trump hotel
Maybe
or whatever.
This is the first step.
It's like
this story.
I've yet to hear any other solutions.
Wait, you got a better solution?
Yeah, what's your better solution to the region?
Right.
Leaving it in shambles?
Right.
I mean, that's everyone else's solution. It's just like, hey, just...
invade a country, leave it to die.
Just let them be their little terrorist group out there in that area and let them do their thing.
Right.
But it's like, instead, like, let's try to make, Trump wants to make that area better.
Right.
Build it up.
Right.
Can you imagine going from a place that's nothing but rubble to something that is
as a hotel
financially stable, profitable?
That would be insane.
Now, it's going to take some, large overhaul to get rid of the terrorism in that area.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but...
not going to be swift either.
No.
But before we move on, I got to ask you this, Judd.
Yeah.
What changed in their hearts? Because it seemed, the protesters, because it seems not even a little bit ago they were in full support. What happened?
I don't know, dude. I mean, again, I'm not on the ground. I thought I had it. What the hell? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I was trying to find some videos, which I think I do now. Oh, see, now they're popping up. All right. So
this is the video, guys. Look at this.
Let me see if I can get this full screen. Or at least
الآن يهتفون برا برا برا
الناس
تطلع برا من أمام مستشفى الأندونيسي كما تشاهدون شمال قطاع غزة الناس انهكتهم ولم ينظر إليهم كما تشاهدون شعب غزة لا يريد الحروب كما تشاهدون الناس عامة الناس تسأل عن أنس الشريف مراسل قناة الجزيرة مراسل قناة الجزيرة عامة الشعب لا يريد قناة الجزيرة
Sounds like us with CNN.
Yeah.
كما تشاهدون
Cheney was the media. Huh.
كما تشاهدون عامة الناس تطالب بإنهاء حكم حماس تطالب الصحافة بتصوير
It makes me really sad though, Jared, though. You know why?
Why?
I'm imagining a few moments after they just opened fire.
Mm-hmm.
Hamas just opens fire.
Well, I mean, if they're able to get their own ammunition, they could take over Hamas's rule,
Yeah, but you saw how that went in Syria, though, Jared. When the
just
Syrians,
another terrorist organization, basically.
Power vacuum.
Yep.
I mean, I thought the rebels taking over the Bashar al-Assad's palace a couple months ago was good, but no, now it's a hellhole.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that whole region just needs to be solved. And I think I do agree with you. I think Trump is the one to do it.
Yeah, because
he's got solutions that work.
Well, what other options? Right, Aiden? I mean, like, what other options do we have? We don't have any other viable options. I mean, Trump is being, an outside thinker. He's not just being like, well, let's either blow up the region or leave it be.
Right.
It seems like those are the two big solutions. And it's like, well,
either scorch it or just leave it to,
But you also have to think, there has to be a future for a time after the conflict, right?
What
happens after?
To these
because
people?
You could completely obliterate the region, just bomb the hell out of it. But what happens with the area?
Right.
Right. What do you do in that region? And I think part of it is going to have to be Israeli protected, like Israeli military protected region. If they plan on, getting some sort of deal where they build up the region and they put hotels, they put shopping malls.
You thinking guard towers and stuff in Gaza?
Well,
Stuff like that.
However they feel like they need to protect that region is what they need to do.
Yeah.
Because once they oust the Hamas rule, they need to prevent it from happening again.
From that group or any other.
And you also have to be careful about, any surviving Hamas leaders, escaping to other regions, and sniff them out.
Spreading their tentacles of evil elsewhere.
Yeah, because, think about this, Aiden. I was just reading something about that Javier Milei.
Yeah.
That leader of Argentina now. He was going to release some documents about the what happened during 1945 when a bunch of the Nazis escaped to Argentina and a lot of these other South American countries because they wanted to avoid persecution. The law was coming after them. After
so they wanted to get out. Yeah.
They wanted to get out.
The jurisdiction doesn't.
Yeah, they fled. They probably changed their names so that they could avoid being taken in to custody. And a lot of them probably just, lived in that area and just passed away in Argentina or whatever. And apparently Javier Milei is going to release those documents of who came from Germany after World War II. To try to release hey, these are the Nazis that came over to escape.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. There was a good amount of Nazis that were put on trial.
Right.
After 1945.
Nuremberg.
Yeah. But not all of them were caught. There were some of them that ran away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the same thing happening here. Definitely. With Hamas people fleeing.
Yeah, it's definitely not it's not on the same level as what happened during World War II. They didn't kill as close to many, Jews as they,
Nazis did, yeah.
Yeah, nothing really quite, is up to that, but
yeah.
So anyways, here's some more
footage,
chanting and stuff. Oh, what happened?
What is that?
Oh, we're transitioning over to X, I guess.
All right. Oh, is that audio? Yes.
شعب مسالم بدنا نعيش أقل مطالب الحياة بدنا نعيش وصلوها لجميع الأمة لجميع القيادة لجميع الأمة لابد
translate that, Jay?
Yeah, I gotcha. He's saying end Hamas. America, come in, take him out.
No, I'm saying it actually says he can translate the post.
Oh. No, I was doing a translation for you. Okay, stop the genocide, the massacres, continue marches in Beit Lahia, demand an end to the war and the collective extermination.
You want one. What exactly one now?
Because I speak their language.
I think they're learning, dude. I think they're starting to learn.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude. That's insane. Okay, enough screaming, please.
Yeah, really. What's this one? Oh, it's just a...
That was the one that's talking about for the protests.
Oh, that's all of that.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
but good.
It's a good sign.
I hope they can wise up, like, honestly, dude.
Yeah, I hope so too. And we'll find out hopefully soon, what the fate is for that region.
Yeah.
Hopefully Israel is able to come to some sort of solution and along with Trump's help.
And end this thing.
Yeah, and just end it because, I think the issue is a lot of people are looking at Trump and being like, look, dude, you said on the campaign trail that you could end both wars in like day one or day two.
Right.
And to be fair, he didn't.
Yeah.
The wars are still going on.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they're looking a little better right now under Trump's rule, but
they're still
going on. They haven't been
dying. People are still dying.
They haven't been resolved.
Right.
Now, or I mean, you could chop it up to just be, Trump kind of exaggerates. Sometimes.
I think that's what it was. That was that's my belief on that.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're trying to get elected, you say things
very broad,
and it's like, you're like,
well,
I can end it on day one. It's like, well, in reality, there's, a lot of these executive orders that Trump is signing is, it's legal hurdles that he's got to get over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we talked about, history with the judges for some of that, but anyway, see other podcasts for that, but
anyways, I think that's pretty much it for
that. So, headline 2, Jude, right?
Yeah, so here's getting into some of the entertainment news, guys.
Yes.
Here we got talking about Disney Snow White fiasco, dude. It's just, I knew this was going to be a disaster. Everyone knew it.
Every live-action Disney movie has been an absolute disaster.
Apparently, there's been ramped-up security and social media monitoring. I'm assuming that's... with Rachel Zegler, because of what she said in the past and probably how she's responding now. But this is from Fox News. Producers behind Disney's Snow White film struggled over the backlash caused by the film star Rachel Zegler's social media posts, Variety reported. Variety reported Snow White producer Mark Blatt personally got involved with the backlash surrounding Zegler after she shared an anti-Israel post while promoting the film in August. Quote, and always remember, free Palestine, she wrote. Reportedly, the studio grew concerned about this post after death threats against Zegler's Israeli co-star Gal Gadot spiked at the time, leading the company to pay for extra security. Quote, she didn't understand the repercussions of her actions as far as what that meant for the film, for Gal, for anyone, an insider told Variety. Platt allegedly stepped in again after Zegler lashed out against people who voted for President Donald Trump after he won the 2024 election in November. Quote, may Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. Zegler wrote on her Instagram, adding F Donald Trump.
Wow.
So...
let's dissect this.
let me stop there for a minute before I continue.
Yeah.
The part where she says F Donald Trump, okay, there's nothing new there. People say that all the time. But the part that stuck out to me was the fact that she said, may Trump supporters and Trump voters
never know
peace.
Whoa.
I mean, I get it. We disagree, like politically, obviously. There's disagreements, but seriously.
But that?
I have not once said that to
any
Biden supporters.
To any Democrat.
Or people that voted for Kamala.
What?
Whoever voted for Kamala, I hope they never know peace. It's like, no, I never said that. And the same
I said they have something weird in the brain, but we never wished for their agonizing lives.
Right. What about during...
agony put on their lives, I mean. What about during the...
What about during the... What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the agony put on their lives, I mean? What about during the assassination attempts. There was a lot of Democrats that were bleeding their true colors during that time. They were saying,
don't miss.
They're like, don't miss next time. And they're joking about it, allegedly. But it comes across as very, very truthful what they're saying. What they really mean it.
Don't get me started on that crap again, Judd. I could talk about that all night.
And like I've said before, I'll reiterate it again. I didn't like Biden, but I would never wish death upon him.
Like, same can't be said for...
You can't wish death upon anyone that's already dead anyways.
Like...
I mean, you saw him out on the debate stage, dude. It was like finish him, you know, like with Trump when he was there.
You're a movie star. Why do you think that you have any sort of say in anything politic related? It's the same argument I use with athletes. Like, stick to what you're good at. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Like, shut up and dribble.
What?
For, like, LeBron.
Or act in this case.
Yeah, shut up and act.
I mean, and I even say that for Chris Pratt. And I know his is the same views as mine. You know? Mm-hmm. Still, it's the same concept still.
Well, do you remember... I mean, obviously, before our time, movie stars tended to avoid the whole political discussion. They used to just stick to acting.
Yeah.
And they were good at what they did. And people would, you know, go line up at the movies to see them. They're like, oh, look, you know, this guy's in this movie. I got to see it.
Sylvester Stallone's in a new Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, all they worried about was the actor being in that film. They could care less about what the film was about.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Nowadays,
and then
it's not the same.
There were the days also when every film didn't have a political message behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, stop. It's a headache.
Now,
I don't have time to hear about a lesbian couple in Buzz Lightyear, okay? I want to watch something good. Like,
well, and apparently they're coming out with another Toy Story, so I'm interested to see how that goes. Like, if it's actually...
I'm pissed. They're making another Lilo and Stitch.
Dude, and
you gotta avoid Lilo and Stitch, man.
You know, dude, you know my opinion on Disney remakes, right?
They suck, all of them.
Well, they suck, first of all. And I'm not a big fan of them just remaking the film.
Right.
Because it was good to begin with. And then they're like, you know what would make it better? Is if we remake the film with CGI. With live action people.
But that's technically not live action. We need to talk about things like Lion King.
Right.
That's technically CGI. So first of all, you're lying.
But like,
secondly,
but what's the point in remaking it?
It was good as it was.
You're basically just making it a CGI film.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
So does this article have anything else to say, Judd?
Actually, I think it does.
Let's see.
So the article...
The Donald Trump thing.
Hold on a second.
The Donald Trump thing.
Okay. Yeah, she...
Said F Donald Trump.
So where was I? Oh, yeah, F Donald Trump. And then it says... Yeah, Zegler later apologized for the post after working with a social media guru paid by Disney's team to vet her social media posts leading up to the film's premiere, according to the report.
This made me laugh.
Snow White, in quotations, opened in the U.S. and Canada on Friday to $43 million in ticket sales. Now, you think that's a lot of money to the normal person, right?
I was going to say, that's low.
But
for a movie company,
keep in mind, it cost $250 million to make the film. So...
It didn't even... $90 million, it looks like, from total...
Yeah. So...
I didn't even break 100.
Dude, they're not going to...
It didn't even break 100 mil.
I guarantee you right now, dude, they're not going to break even. Forget about making a profit. They're not even going to make it even on the film.
Can you show them? Because I know we can do this. Can you just show them the IMDb review, please?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Can you pull up the score, please? They are going to laugh their butts off at this.
Let me find
We don't have to, like, read it. I just want them to see the star score. I want them to see this. Look at this, guys. Look at this.
Oh, dear. Hold on.
Oh, idea.
Oh,
It's actually
even
going
lower.
down!
All right, let's pull it up.
It's gone down. Look at how bad.
All right, let me scroll up a little
Yeah,
bit.
so that they can see it. Look at that guy.
See that rating right up there on the top right?
1.6.
That's bad.
People are sick of it, dude.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It got one nomination. For what?
For what? Hold on a second. Hold on. The
QWERTY? What is that? The QWERTY? What is the QWERTY?
What?
All right, hold on a second.
Click this. Hold on.
Megan Thee Stallion? What? What does she have to do with any of this?
What does she have to do with Snow White? What? Badass.
QWERTY? Billie
I
Eilish?
can't stand it. Get off of here, dude. I can't stand this anymore.
Ugh.
I can't stand this anymore. Get the heck out of here. Ugh.
Well, the point being here, guys, is the film did very bad. I don't even know what the QWERTYs is. It's some award show or something that I have never seen.
Probably for gay stuff.
It's for the queers, as the name suggests. Yeah. So there you go. That's all I have to say about that.
This movie's god awful.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, it looks like that's it for that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyways, guys, so let's break
dissect.
this down a minute
Oh my
because
God.
what's your opinion on?
I'm not seeing it. I am not wasting money.
Well, no, yeah. First of all, don't give your money to Rachel Zegler and Disney at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's your opinion of these remakes? Because you said you like The Lion King.
Yeah,
if I recall correctly.
the original.
No, I mean the
Oh,
remake.
you mean
said
Mufasa? Yeah, because they tried to do something different at least. It's not my favorite Disney movie of all time by any stretch of the imagination at all.
Yeah.
But it was something that I could at least sit through. Was my point. It's still a pretty low bar though.
Right.
I mean, it's better than a lot of other things that they've done. That was my point. In the live action realm.
Well, and here's the crazy part is that this movie did worse than the Dumbo remake.
I know. By a lot. And we don't know how that movie was.
Like, why can't Disney just leave their IP, the old IP like
Yeah.
that, alone?
Leave it alone!
I don't understand this, Aiden. Why they feel like they need to remake it? The only thing
Because it's a cash cow.
It's easy
well,
money.
I mean, is it now though? I mean,
well, here's my thing.
yeah.
Why does it seem like they don't come up with any new ideas?
Wait, they don't.
And I've said this before on the show, but it's like
Not with Disney, but with something else. I think.
No, I've said it with Disney before.
Okay.
And this kind of goes, kind of goes for other companies too.
Entertainment industry in general, it feels right now.
Yeah.
Especially video games, and that's pissing me off.
But other video companies that are big like Disney, they're like, oh, let's make a second one of this franchise, and instead of coming up with something new, they're like, let's make a sequel, which sometimes could work.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's a failure.
I mean, Pixar though is kind of doing new stuff.
Pixar has flopped in the recent years. Like
they have that new movie coming out. Then I'm actually kind of
which one?
The one about the guy that gets abducted by aliens.
What's the name of it? Do you know?
Elio, EOIO.
Okay, I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure, but
that's a new concept.
My thing is this, because Pixar has been guilty of this too. They're throwing a lot of the left-wing indoctrination stuff into their films too, instead of making it just wholesome family entertainment. Like, go back to WALL-E, dude.
Yeah.
By far my favorite movie.
And it had... Funny enough, that was Disney's most political movie that they've ever made. But yet it was done in a way that, made sense.
Yeah.
Like, it was all about climate stuff, but it was like, oh, that's actually a really cool way to portray that.
But here's the thing.
I left it up to you whether it was bad or...
Right. But it wasn't it wasn't like blatantly in your face.
Right. It was mainly to tell a story.
And it's
while
also
having a message in the background. That's how it should be.
Well, and think about this too, Aiden. It's unrealistic, like the story of Wall-E.
The whole earth gets polluted with trash and...
Yeah, because, there's ways to get rid of it without it being like the whole... Like, there's buildings, skyscrapers of trash,
Right.
And...
The whole sky's brown and...
Yeah. Now, they were right about one thing. They were right about people being way overweight. And start to drink stuff from a straw and just like get all the, quick, easy food.
It's haunting, dude.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
Now,
such a good movie. Such a good movie.
Now that's back when Pixar was good. But
I would say even after Monsters University, after that one, it kind of started to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the last good Pixar film that they made.
What do you think about, like, The Incredibles? I thought the second one was
Incredibles
pretty good.
2?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Are you talking about Mrs. Incredible? Yeah, I think there was a lot of talk about her.
That's some good animation right there.
Yeah. That badonkadonk.
Although I almost had a seizure, bro.
Oh, with the flashing? Yeah, dude.
I was like, dude.
Was there a seizure warning on that?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. It was hung up on the doors and everything, yeah.
Jeez.
I had to close my eyes because, like, oh, God. Like.
Oh, yeah. What was the name of the villain?
The Screenslaver.
Yeah, Screenslaver, yeah.
Yeah. That was good.
That was good.
That's a rare occasion that a sequel's good.
Yeah, and you know what? They're actually working on a third one.
Which that one I'm actually excited for.
Here's the crazy part, right? Why now? You know what I mean? Yeah. They could have made a second Incredibles movie years ago. It wasn't that long ago the second one came out, dude. Mm-hmm. The first one came out in like early 2000s.
2001 to be exact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long time to wait for a sequel. Like, I don't understand why.
It was worth it, though. I mean.
Yeah. That's insane to me that it took that long. But I think...
Jack stayed a baby for 15 years.
Yeah, it's like he didn't grow up at all. Here's my... Well, all right. So, overall with Disney, and because here are the facts.
Please. Shoot.
Disney's losing money.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. From what I understand,
they've been losing money.
They've been losing money. Disney parks, the attendance is down. They're not making as much money there with ticket sales. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. And then, of course, the movies aren't doing well. They're just not performing how they should.
Particularly the live action ones.
Yep.
Like Crashing and Burning.
Mm-hmm. And at a certain point...
Not to mention Marvel. Oh, my God.
Yeah, really bad.
Oh, not to mention Marvel. One of my favorite franchises ever. That was shit.
Well, they ruin everything they touch. Look at Star Wars.
Oh, don't even get me started. Star Wars, that's worse. They
should have ended Star Wars years ago. They really milked that franchise.
Joe, can I go off for a second?
Sure.
Dude, The Acolyte. Oh my God.
Is that bad? I haven't seen it.
It's not bad. It's just the fact that I do like what they did with the origin about the Jedi and like it being thousands of years before, the Phantom Menace. But they made Anakin Skywalker's story basically worthless.
Oh, geez.
Because in the plot, you're not going to watch it, right?
No.
Okay, good. So I can spoil it.
Yeah.
So in the plot, they have another chosen one. That's a Force sensitive.
Oh.
Do you know why that's a big deal?
No, why?
Because the whole prequel trilogy, Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, that was the whole thing. Was that Anakin was the chosen one. In all three movies, and he was the only Jedi that displayed that much power. They just ruined it. No, we're going to have two chosen ones. And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but they're also black and female, so
Well, of course they're qualified to be the chosen one, right? Black and female.
They ruined one of the greatest. Star Wars, bro.
Well, just like Doctor Who.
Wait.
They effed that
Vader.
series up
They
bad.
made him not the chosen one anymore. Vader. It made his whole redemption arc in Return of the Jedi useless.
Now, let me just for reference, okay?
Yeah.
While we're on the subject here, let me pull up Doctor Who, because I've been 1963, man. Those are the days.
Which one was good too?
Let me go to images real quick because I'm sure it'll pull up.
Just type in newest season if that's what you're going for, Judd.
Newest.
Whoa!
Newest
Season.
Doctor.
Newest dot.
Data. Ah, yes. Okay.
The black gay doctor.
Which obviously makes him qualified. I don't know if I can bring this up. Here, let's see. Oh, geez. Okay.
Just do a single image of him, dude.
You guys can kind of see
What it
everything
looks
here.
like. Oh my.
Which they're
Let me ask you this. I haven't seen it. Is he at least British?
yes.
Okay.
But dude, he starred in Barbie.
I know.
He was in the Barbie movie.
I know. I know.
Dude, when I
What makes you think that was a good casting call?
dude, when I think of the Doctor,
I think of. Can I be personal for a second? I think of Matt Smith for me personally. I know you think of David Tennant.
I think of David Tennant, and I think of Tom Baker.
Yeah.
Tom Baker is like, by far, it's my favorites. Tom Baker, David Tennant, and Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Those
Matt
are
Smith
my,
is me because I feel like he has more my personality than all the others.
yeah. But I'm not about this like, hey, let's
make the doctor gay.
let's make him gay and black. And then, so this
Just for the sake of it, too.
so this is my mindset, okay? So
Even the female doctor I was okay with.
I
Because
started
that was
out,
something new.
I started out with Doctor Who on Christopher Eccleston.
Yep.
Which he should have got more seasons.
First of all.
First of all, he was an amazing doctor because he was like a serious doctor.
Yeah.
I like some of those like the seriousness
Yeah.
of everything. Because,
David Tennant was that too?
yeah, David Tennant had the serious moments.
Well,
but
at first
was
he was a little bit,
goofy, and then
but then as the season went on, he got more serious when it came to the Daleks and
yeah. But see, you have to. I'm okay with that combo of goofy,
Yeah.
but also serious when it needs to be.
when the threat is, actually,
yeah.
yeah.
Now,
Matt Smith had that too, now that I think about it.
now,
like-
see, it started out with Christopher Eccleston, and then, it went down like the classic, like, hey, here's doctor after doctor, and then it went to
Even Peter Capaldi wasn't bad.
Peter Capaldi was more of like a classic kind of doctor
Yeah.
feeling because most of the
He wasn't bad either.
most of the doctors in the older series
Yeah.
were older guys.
Right. So they wanted to kind of probably recapture.
Yeah,
of that.
because it was funny when he regenerated. For anyone, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the Peter Capaldi or any of the
Season.
Doctor Who seasons, when he regenerated into Peter Capaldi, he's like, I'm old, He's
Yeah,
like,
right,
He's
right,
like,
right,
wait,
right,
He's like, what? What happened? It went from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi. He's like,
So
what?
funny. So funny.
Yeah, he's like, man, I got old. But also the interesting part is he was like, I've seen this face before
Right.
because he was in the Pompeii episode,
Yep.
if you remember.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Judd. Someone just said something.
Oh, you're good. But so it went from Peter Capaldi and then it went to the female doctor.
Right. Which even that I didn't have a problem with.
Even then, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can
It's something new.
I can kind of play along. I guess it kind of makes sense that you can.
She's cute.
I guess it kind of makes sense that you can, switch to a different gender. I guess.
Because you're an alien, so.
I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I guess.
But then this most recent one as well, I drew the line. It was like, okay.
But even then, looking back at it, let's stop on the female aspect of it because think about if you're from Gallifrey, right? If you're married, wait, hold on. Time out.
Oh my.
If you are married on Gallifrey, right? To what if you die and then come back and you're like a woman and you're like, wait a second, I thought you're my husband, and then it becomes like a weird lesbian relationship. wait a second. I don't understand how this works.
How does that work?
Wait, I'm very confused, man. Actually, the more I'm thinking about it, the more it doesn't make sense. Well,
Gallifrey's full of a bunch of lesbians.
Maybe
that's why they lost.
There's too much. There's too much Gallifreedom.
That's what we should have called the podcast.
Yeah. Gallifreedom.
Gallifreedom. Gallifreedom.
Give me a G. So here I'm gonna like block this so you guys can't see it, but I'm gonna show you the latest newest doctor in
TARDIS
dress.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Here we go.
Hold on, where is it? Oh dear Lord.
That's even worse.
That's not what I was expecting actually. Where was it? It was on a social media post. Oh my God. Oh my. Oh.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
This is from Daily Mail, dude. Let me see if I can. There we go. All right, so
he looks like freaking Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. So you're telling me?
Oh gosh! Why
So
do you even date them with
So
that?
are you telling me? Sorry, this pop up.
That's the doctor?
This is the doctor. Seriously? Seriously. This is why they should cancel the series.
What?
They should cancel Doctor Who. This should be the last Doctor. And
No.
This is a disgrace.
No, it's a disgrace. Don't end it here.
What, so you want more of the crap that...
No, end it with a good doctor. Pick up your shit and learn from your mistakes. Which they're not going to do, but...
So are they going to learn from their mistakes anytime soon?
Beats me.
Like, can we
stop this, please?
Can we get a normal doctor? I don't understand why we have to experiment with all this, because now it's like, okay, you know, we had a woman, all right, whatever, you know, and then it's like, let's have a black and gay doctor. You know? It's just, I don't see it going back unless, I don't know how, if their viewership's dropped quite a bit since this doctor came in onto the scene. But
Right.
if it's dropped off quite a bit, they're going to want to go back to their old
Someone
Doctor
like
Who
Capaldi,
ways.
yeah.
Well, they're going to
at least.
Right, and they're going to have to find actual writers that know how to write good storylines.
Right.
Because just finding a doctor and having him run around in a TARDIS and
That doesn't
fight
cut it.
crime,
That doesn't
it's
cut
like,
it.
there's got to be good storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I always tell people the Blink episode.
yeah.
That's a good storyline.
Mm-hmm. That was back when Doctor Who was good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was now the writing started to go downhill after Matt Smith left. At the end of Matt Smith's tenure as the Doctor,
Right.
when it switched to Peter Capaldi,
Even then it was trying
the
to,
writing
yeah.
it wasn't like, okay, it
The
started.
problem is that it wasn't liberal. The problem is it's just the writing itself was probably a little bit.
Well, and it started to go woke that way because they started testing out with a gay companion.
Yeah.
So they brought on that one black chick, and
Right,
she's
right.
of course a gay black chick.
Yeah,
So of course,
right,
you know, she's
right.
as diverse as she gets, right? And then they tested those waters. They focused more on indoctrination and the left wing politics of it all, rather than the storyline and making it good.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the storyline if the gay part makes sense for the storyline, then you could do it.
Right.
But they push the envelope. They push it to try to make a point. And from what I understand...
Hence why I said The Last of Us I wasn't mad at, because of that.
Yeah.
It makes sense with the storyline. Because that was in the game.
And from what I understand, dude, not only is the Doctor gay in real life, the actor, but they show how he is gay on screen because of the way he dresses. Yeah. And not only that, but there's a male character that I forget, what his importance is to the series, but he is like very close to the Doctor, like uncomfortably close in an episode or two. I don't know how. Again, I for full disclosure here, I did not watch the series because I thought it would be garbage.
Nor do I. I mean, nor do I plan to.
And yeah, because why would I waste my time?
Right.
Because I'm seeing all these posts. I follow the Doctor Who page on Facebook, and I see nothing but like Doctor Who posts with the latest Doctor, and it's all garbage. He's always in like this gayest looking outfit.
Right.
I don't want to see that.
How about the villains, Judd?
Oh yeah, there was
the music
villain. Yeah,
the drag.
It's like they bring a drag queen as the villain.
Yeah.
Seriously?
With that bullcrap.
Can we have one? And everyone in the comments are like, there's a lot of comments that are supportive of the Doctor, but there's also comments that are criticizing. And of course, there's people that are responding to the criticism, being like, you guys just don't understand, or you guys think that Doctor Who's going to get canceled, but you're wrong. It's like, we'll see. I honestly can see the series getting canned.
That will be the saddest day.
Because think
of
about
BBC
this.
history.
Because here's the kicker, Aiden.
Please tell me.
Disney has a deal with Doctor Who.
Yep.
That is why
it's
the
on Disney
series
Plus. I've
sucks
seen
ass.
it. I've just seen it on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus.
They have a 2-season deal with Disney.
And BBC does, you mean?
Yeah, BBC has a 2-season deal.
That's why it's not on BritBox.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Because my family subscribed to BritBox because there's a lot of calming shows
that
that
through
we watch.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But me and my dad were like, there's a certain show that's missing here that should be on here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most popular British show of all time.
Yep.
Now I know why.
Now you got the classic Doctor Who, I believe, on BritBox.
I don't think so.
It's not on there anymore?
No.
I was watching it on BritBox not too long ago.
I might be wrong then, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But yeah. It's so stupid, dude. It's so stupid. That explains so much, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now get this guy out of here. I don't want to see this anymore. This is stupid. That's just bullshit.
All right, so in order, in my opinion, to wrap everything up
with that,
overall,
Disney's losing money. Yeah.
Overall, Disney's losing money. I feel like they can right the ship, if they get back to basics and say, you know what, we've tried the woke stuff and it just doesn't work. People don't go to the theater to see a tranny on the screen, making out with a straight man.
Right.
It's not.
It's uncomfortable.
I think wokeness is on its way out of the mainstream.
Good.
You know what I mean by that?
People are getting sick of it.
Because think about this, Aiden. We're the rebels now.
Think about that.
Us conservatives
having
are the
a
rebels.
wife and a couple kids and a stable job. That's
a
rebellious.
Rebel.
Yeah. The nuclear family's rebellious now.
That's the cool thing to be a part of. Now, back during the hippie era, that was the not so cool thing to do. Was to be like tied down with one woman and a man and have a nuclear family kind of thing. And now it's to the point where it's like, hey, we're the pendulum's up here. We're gonna swing right back.
Going backwards.
Yeah, we're going back to what actually was a good time in America. was when the nuclear family was important.
Right.
And, now it's cool to be a trad wife. It's women that want to stay home and raise the kids and cook dinner and all that. It's like that's, that used to be the norm. And then at one point it became, now the woman's got to, get a job, got to have a full-time job, got to focus
even
on
I
the
don't
career.
disagree with that even. I mean, even I don't disagree with that.
Right. But at the same time, it's like, you get to choose,
Yeah.
Because maybe, it is harder in today's world to have a one-income household, because it's so expensive living.
Especially since 2019.
20.
Oh, yeah.
But, just having that option shouldn't be frowned upon.
Right.
If you want to do that as a mother
do it
and raise the kids, then you shouldn't be shamed for it.
Right.
So I could totally see Disney righting the ship here soon because I feel like
they're going to collapse if they don't.
Right, and I feel like Snow White is the last straw because now they're seeing how bad it is.
The one that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. But we'll see, I guess.
No, it's not because they got Lilo and Stitch to come out next. Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway.
So here we go. We got
something else Jared hates.
Oh boy.
Apparently.
It's Make Jared Angry Day. We got baseball talk. So,
yes.
So Aiden is right now his obsession of the
It has
day.
been for a full year, dude, first of all.
Well, okay, so first of all, Aiden has been telling me about this baseball player for quite some time.
Yes.
I will say outright that I think he's a talented player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, saying he's, he sucked the ass or anything.
Right.
He's good. But I have some things I'd like to say about this.
And valid criticisms too, I might add, too.
So I don't know if you want to talk about this.
I'll talk about this.
Thing.
Yeah. So the guy's name is Shohei Ohtani. I'll show them again because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Where's that at? Okay. So it's from USA Today. So it says Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers are back as the defending World Series champions. Let's go. Ohtani has proven throughout his MLB career that he can serve as a dual threat player who can be a dominant force on offense while also delivering from the mound. Ohtani was named the National League's most valuable player as a designated hitter in his first season with the Dodgers. He had a .310 batting average with 197 hits, 54 home runs, 130 RBIs, and 134 runs scored in 159 games played. He also won his third Silver Slugger Award with Jared when he was making it. He said Silver Slugger, which was just...
To be fair, it said that in the article.
It did.
Sliver Slugger.
Anyway.
Do that again, Aiden.
Anyway, on the mound, Ohtani... Ohtani?
Oh, wait, where?
What the heck? No, there's another one in the article.
Where does it say
Ohtani.
Wait, where?
Ohtani on the mound. Ohtani.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, Ohtani. Ohtani was limited to just playing offense while he was recovered from elbow surgery in 2024. And I think that's one of Jared's points, and we will talk about that because it is actually a concern I have as well, but we'll talk about it. Mm-hmm. Ohtani is expected to throw a bullpen session this Saturday, according to Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Now, this is interesting, guys. Ohtani has not pitched in a regular season game since August 23rd of 2023. He has not thrown off a mound since February 25th. Quote, once he gets to the pen on Saturday, meaning the bullpen, obviously, I think we will have a better idea of what a plan looks like, Roberts told reporters on Monday. Making sure we are as cautious and careful as possible. And this is what irks me, and I'm scared. A timetable for Ohtani's competitive return to the mound has not been announced. Oh my. Yeah.
So
before we watch this thing, Judd, what do you got to say?
Well, based off the information that
we were
given, it doesn't look good.
It seems like you're just waiting to see how he performs in the bullpen before having him as a pitcher.
And so he went. Now it doesn't say in the
article.
It didn't say in the article about him having Tommy John, right?
No, but he had two. I know that for a fact. He had two Tommy Johnson surgeries. Yes.
Jeez. That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
For a pitcher that
goes one of the worst injuries you can have,
and that could be, something that you never quite come back from. So this whole talk of him being a dual threat out on the field because he can pitch and he can hit, well, he might be limited
now because
I believe in the playoffs he was already suffering with a shoulder injury, but he was out there playing because he wanted to help his team win a championship.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
So
I think that was because he slid on a base one and it hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, Mr. Brittle Bones over
here.
Right. Like just, he's falling apart out there. Bumps, reminds me of Aaron Rodgers.
I still have a theory, dude. I still think it was because of his time in the NPB, honestly. Japanese baseball.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, he has brittle collarbones, man. He gets hit. He's like, oh, my collarbone. And he goes down.
Carries the U.S. flag out. Oh, it's cool. And then the first play. He gets, what's crazy is that he's not that old, though. Ohtani, I mean. He's like our age?
Yeah, I don't know his age exactly, but now wildly talented.
Yeah.
As a player, but
you're saying Ohtani?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Aaron Rodgers was wildly talented too, but of course he's aged quite a bit. And not as good. But we also have a video that kind of explains the whole Ohtani and all that.
The dual threat thing, yeah.
Yeah. And here it
is. Just why I'm particularly excited about this season.
Yeah.
So, check this out, guys.
Unless you're about 100 years old, you have never seen this before. Baseball is witnessing something insane.
I don't want to say freak, but he's close to it.
Imagine if Tom Brady led the league in touchdowns thrown and sacks. That is how crazy it would be if one of the best hitters in the league and one of the best pitchers in the league were the same person. But that's exactly what's going on. Shohei Ohtani, the first two-way star in 100 years, goes against everything we thought we knew about baseball, and yet he is making it look easy. So, quick question. What's a two-way player, and why isn't everyone doing it? It's showtime.
I included that on one of my posts today, guys. And we can kind of talk over the short if you want, as we're listening to it.
For all of modern baseball history, there have been
I wanted to hear a
distinct
little
types
bit
of
of it.
baseball players. Pitchers and hitters. While some pitchers know how to swing the bat, most of them are just out there trying not to get hurt.
Yeah, you see that a lot with when they had the interleague play. When they had, like, say, the Guardians playing
they definitely aren't taking
the Dodgers or something, when it's not playoff time.
Right.
So the pitcher for the, like, if they're at the Dodger Stadium or something, the Guardians pitcher would have to go out and bat.
Right.
Now that rule's changed since, but yeah.
Really started to focus in on what they were best at. If you were especially good at hitting, you only did that. And while pitchers still had to bat on the days they started, their real job was only to get better at throwing. Check out our DH episode.
Just mute that part. It's just plugging.
What Ohtani's doing, pitching and hitting at elite levels, is extremely rare, but not unprecedented. In 1918, Babe Ruth was a pitcher, but he hit so well on the days he pitched that the Red Sox started playing him in the field just to get his bat in the lineup.
Ruth not only won 9 games on the mound, but hit 11 home runs to lead the American League.
Think about that. The last time there was a dominant two-way player in Major League Baseball, a gallon of gas cost $0.25.
The following year, he hit 29 home runs. Then he went to the Yankees, and his pitching days were pretty much over.
To the Yankees, his bat was just too valuable to risk him pitching. The two-way hitter lived on a few decades longer in the Negro Leagues, where smaller rosters meant it wasn't uncommon for players to serve double duty. For Ted Radcliffe, it became a calling card. He earned his moniker during a doubleheader, where he hit a grand slam while playing catcher in Game 1, and then threw a complete game shutout as a pitcher in Game 2. And then there was Martin Diego. The man didn't just pitch and hit. He logged over 200 innings at every position except catcher.
Isn't that crazy?
He was even a player-manager for a season with the New York Cubans. But what Ohtani is doing is just another level.
He's the best baseball player I've ever seen in my life. He can hit a ball 900 feet and throw 99 off the mound.
Yeah.
Like, who else
I'm
is
starting
doing
to
that, bro?
understand,
While
though,
it's
Joe, in my
common for
mind,
baseball
why it's
players
like
in the
so
U.S. to hit and
incredible.
pitch in high school and college, there's even an award for
Like-
it named after two-way college phenom John Olerud. Every player has had to make the choice. To succeed at the major league level, to really stick, it's all about being great in one area.
Like,
No one's been able to excel by splitting their focus in two. So why has Ohtani's story unfolded differently? Well, it was mostly by chance. Like many American high school prospects, Ohtani was a two-way star in Japan. He led his team deep into the Koshin, a national high school tournament that is a huge deal there. He was one of the highest profile prospects in Japanese baseball history, and everyone everywhere was interested in signing him. Japanese teams in the Nippon Professional Baseball League viewed Ohtani as a pitcher. American teams viewed him as a hitter. If he signed with the major league team, he almost certainly would have been asked to focus on just his hitting.
Yep.
The 18-year-old phenom, like dozens of two-way players before him, was ready to focus on just one skill set. He declared his intent to play in MLB and asked the Japanese teams not to draft him. But the Nippon Ham Fighters had an ace up their sleeve.
日本ハムが30ページにも及ぶこうプレゼンの資料を持って、その中に二刀流バッターもやるピッチャーもやるこういう風に使っていったらどうかなっていう。
The NPB has a more robust tradition of two-way players than MLB. However, the league hadn't seen a bona fide two-way player in 60 years.
これは一概にピッチャー一本にしろって言えないぐらいすごい才能なんだなっていうのをこう直接見た選手たちはみんな一様に理解する認識するという状況が彼の。
The club took a risk, and it paid off.
Tch.
Ohtani signed. Ohtani wasn't the second coming of Babe Ruth right out of the gate. It took time for the rookie to adjust to the
Cool jersey,
professional
though.
level as a two-way player. Time he may not have been given with another team or league. He spent 5 seasons with the NPB,
The
proving
Ham
himself
Fighters,
as a two-way
yes.
threat. He racked up a league championship and a
That's-
whole host of hardware.
Yeah, that
まあ簡単に言った
2017
ら
game
今も
Joe
そう
to
か
get
も
to
し
the
れない
US
け
is
ど、
crazy. The
漫
World
画の
Baseball
主人公
Classic,
みたい
that was
な
insane.
ことです。
That's why I first saw him.
Still, when Ohtani had the
That's cool.
opportunity to take his talent stateside, he had to choose
That game, I
carefully.
mean.
Even after proving himself in the NPB, there was no guarantee he'd get the chance to be a two-way player in MLB. But just like the Nippon Ham Fighters, the Angels were willing to.
Yes, he was signed to the Angels first.
挑
Yes,
戦で
absolutely.
きる
Yep.
環境があるのかというのでエンゼルスを選んだと思います。
So that's it. Take one part phenom talent, add an open-minded GM, a healthy dose of patience, and voila, we all get to witness history. But what happens next? It's like Ohtani unlocked a cheat code. Teams get 2-star players for the price and roster spot of 1. So does that mean other
Exactly.
two-way players are going to follow? Maybe. There are a few players in the minors being given the chance. So maybe Ohtani is just a peek at the future where two-way players are normal. If more players were given the chance to do both, maybe they'd surprise us. With a little practice and determination, your favorite fireballer could be capable of launching bombs.
Man, and that's why I love this guy so much.
And those cannons in the outfield, who's to say they couldn't throw gas?
Brett Phillips' first pitching appearance.
Well, I got something to say too I didn't think about before.
Or maybe
Do it, yeah.
Ohtani
This
is
is done,
just
yeah.
different.
So, yeah,
well,
what did you say,
to-
first of all, Judd?
To speaking at the end, what they were talking about, they were saying giving other position players
Yeah,
an
like
opportunity to
that they
pitch.
said the outfielder to
Right.
throw gas, as they said, yeah.
Because let me make sure I have this. Do you remember Tyler Naquin?
Yes, I do, yes. he
Well,
was an
the
Indian,
Guardians signed him back, but
Right.
as a pitcher.
yeah. White.
He was an outfielder when he was here.
You see?
But
That was very
apparently,
recent, right? That was very recent?
This was just this season.
Okay.
Like before the season started, they signed Tyler Naquin to a deal, but now he's a pitcher for the Guardians.
White.
Now, if you remember, he was there during our big, I think 2016, 2017
Yeah.
run.
What series
around?
one, yeah.
He was around that time,
Yeah.
so it was when
Yeah.
we were really, really good.
White.
And so he's coming back to the team. Same with like Carlos Santana. We got a little bit of championship magic players back.
We got a stacked pitching,
Now,
as we always do.
Of course, Jose Ramirez has been a part of it all the way.
And okay,
but,
you said something interesting that I actually don't disagree with you fully.
Okay.
You said something before the show along the lines of Jose, unlike Ohtani, the hometown team. You said something about that. He turned down.
So, okay,
the $700 million. You think that's
so? Aiden, to kind of, start it out. He signed originally with the Angels.
Right.
I forget what his deal was with the Angels, but it wasn't as large as it is now.
He was a two-way hitter, though. He was a two-way player.
Yes.
Then.
Now he signed with the Dodgers, a couple years ago now, maybe?
Right, yeah.
When he first signed?
Right.
But it's a 10-year contract.
$700 million, yes. Yep.
That is crazy to me.
That is the biggest contract in sports history.
Yep.
You said crazy amount of money, basically. And you said only the Dodgers could.
Only the Dodgers and maybe New York.
Right.
Because New York spends a lot of money on their players.
Bazooka bucks.
Hence why I hate New York so much.
Right.
I really do not like facing them in the playoffs.
Me neither. I freaking hate the Yankees with a passion, dude.
Because then they're like, yeah, we won. It's like, dude, you spent how much money on these players?
Now, the reason I'm okay with the Dodgers, though, is because, to my knowledge, it could be one. To my knowledge, no one uses voids. Whereas the Yankees have a history of players using steroids.
Right, but they have regulations on that now.
Right. But I'm saying they still have people that would choose to do it, though, is my point.
Right.
That are on the Yankees.
But
that's why I hate.
Well,
they brag about their money and they use voids, so they cheat. I can't love a team like that.
No.
Are you kidding me?
And they're such crybabies because, of course, they lose a game and it's like the
I
end
hate
of the world.
their fans so much.
Well, here, first of all, I don't like the team.
Me and my family are scared that when we tour to go to New York. That's going to be scary.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. I don't like the team,
right?
And I don't like the fans.
Right. Yeah.
That's just like the Philadelphia Eagles
Put the mic
fans.
down. Yeah, put the mic down.
The Eagles fans are mean.
Yeah.
They are not nice people. I think, and I know I'm biased here because I'm a Cleveland fan, but we have the best fans in the damn land, man.
Yeah.
There's no other fans that match up. Because here's the thing, Aiden, and we'll get right back to the talk about the Dodgers here.
We're loud,
we're
passionate, and we're consistent.
Yes, because guess what? We support our team no matter what happens. I supported the Guardians all the way through. I knew that they probably weren't going to make the World Series because there was some tough competition ahead of them. But, man, I was there, and I supported. I was like, man, we had a pretty good season, man.
Right.
That Stephen Vogt, first-time manager, he's a young guy. First season, and he made it to the playoffs, dude.
That's insane!
One series away from the World Series.
Right.
That's how close we got. Think about that, dude.
And then New York. I think it was New York.
Yes, New York. But think about this, Aiden.
First season,
we got one series away from the World Series, dude.
This year, it's going to be insane.
What, the ALCS, right?
Yeah. American League Championship Series.
So we won against Detroit in the ALDS. Then ALCS, we faced New York. And we won one out of the games, which, it's something. At least we didn't get swept. But that's us Browns fans and Cleveland fans, just in general.
Yeah.
We look at the silver lining. The sliver lining.
Yeah.
We
No, and I'm not. I'm not a Cleveland hater. You know that.
I know.
You know that. I have a bunch of Cleveland stuff up in my room. I have countless pennants up. I have countless Indians hats. No, I'm just saying I see a future with this guy. This is really cool. I wasn't able to articulate it earlier, but I can now, and I'll articulate it to you as well as the audience right now, Jared. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not only a fan of Cleveland. I'm not only a fan of the Guardians, okay?
Okay.
I am a fan of baseball. And sometimes in a sport, okay, no matter whose team you're on, there comes a once-in-a-generation talent. Well, you can't help but support him because everything that he's done, all the numbers he's put up, and he's a down-to-earth guy, too, which means that he doesn't put himself up on a pedestal. He doesn't, say, oh, I'm the best. F the other guys. Not like a lot of these basketball people over here in the NBA who think they're hot stuff, but, it's just being a fan of baseball. It's hard to not love the guy. The sport itself, it unlocks something magical with this sport. It makes people romantic about baseball again watching it, in my view.
Well, okay.
To them, because of Ohtani, baseball is, again, not just this boring old people sport where it's 9 innings and nothing's going on. He's making baseball exciting again for people.
Well, here's the thing. Let me touch on that, because if you don't like baseball as it was before, then maybe you weren't a baseball fan.
What? Yeah. Right,
you know what I mean?
Right,
Because if you're like, well,
I totally get that.
Because I mean, dude, if it 60 years since the last, two-way player,
however long it's been,
double threat, whatever, then obviously you weren't a fan of baseball. Because if you're a fan of baseball, you're gonna watch, no matter what. Because there's games, Aiden, especially in baseball, where it's just not, it's slow. There's sometimes they're just not hitting the ball well.
Right.
Both teams are 0-0 in the 9th inning, and you're like, come on, dude, get a run.
Right.
It's just the game of baseball. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Because...
that is true.
Because the NFL, you really can't get a breath in before it's like, oh, here's the next play. Here's the next play.
Every commercial break after every play, too, sucks.
It's all right. We got a first down, and we'll be back after the break.
That's also why I like soccer, like a side tangent. Soccer, it keeps moving and it doesn't stop, and I like that. But we're not talking about that right now. I like baseball. But
yeah, there's a whole nother. I disagree with Aiden on that one. I do not like.
Okay,
soccer.
hockey then.
Yeah, hockey is a that could be entertaining.
Yes.
Now,
but to get my view though, dude, about saying that he's like bringing baseball, like he's making it, at least to young people, he's making it exciting again, and making people want to watch baseball.
Well, I think what MLB needs to do is, continue with what they're doing with Shohei Ohtani, right? Mm-hmm. And some of these other players, because the NFL is really good about this, is name recognition.
Oh, yes.
Now, the problem with Major League Baseball is they don't market their players.
That's the thing.
Well.
That's another point, I think, at least to my view. Name recognition, dude. I mean, yeah.
Because think about this, Aiden. If Jose Ramirez was on a different team, he would be in the running for MVP every year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every year. But the thing is, he's on the Guardians, which is a small market team.
Right.
People are always hating on Cleveland. Whether
$40 million was a lot of money for them.
Whatever his contract was, I forget. It is around that.
He said 41, something like that.
Something like that. I could be wrong. But my point being is that if he was in a bigger market and he wasn't involved in Cleveland, then he would be in the MVP running every year. And he would also get a bigger contract. Now, of course, I would sign with the Dodgers if they gave me a $700 million contract.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
You'd be stupid not to.
Right. And from what I understand, the contract, a lot of that's on hold until after he retires.
Yep.
Which that's insane. First of all, you get paid after you retire. You're not even playing for the team.
What
kind of pension is this?
Why?
I thought pensions were dead, dude. That's insane.
What in the pension?
What in the pension? That should have been the title. But seriously,
no, I do understand that. I do understand that too.
And here's the thing. I feel like there's going to be a contract restructuring soon because.
There's already talks of it.
There's already talks of it because guess what? Shohei Ohtani, I don't know how old he is. Can you look that up real quick, Aiden?
How old? I believe he is 27, but I will look really quick. I'll ask ChatGPT.
ChatGPT?
Yes.
So, while Aiden's looking that up, I don't know if he's ever going to get back to his top of the game,
He's 30 years old as of today.
Okay.
30.
All right, so he's a little older than I thought he was.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was like late 20s.
But you said he played in Japan for a little bit too.
Yeah.
So there's part of that.
Right.
But the thing is, Aiden, there's no guarantee that he's going to be as good as he was or as good as they thought he was.
Because of those injuries.
And it's unfortunate.
It's sad. It's so sad.
It happens to people, and to pro players all the time,
especially trying to be a two-way player.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of strain on the body to throw, say, 100 pitches a game, but also go out there and bat.
Yeah,
because you don't get a break.
Mm-hmm.
At least as a pitcher in the American League,
right?
You go out there, pitch, say 10 pitches an inning, 15, whatever, however long it takes you.
Right.
Get out of the inning and you sit down for a little bit. Take a break while your offense tries to get some runs.
Right.
But not with Shohei.
Shohei doesn't like that for some reason, yeah.
Well, think about this. They talk about him being a two-way threat or
dual
whatever.
Threat, yeah.
Yeah, dual threat. But then he's only playing one position. It's like,
that did cross my mind too. Yes, as I was watching it. Yes,
and they're like, well,
they're
like, well, we're gonna use him as a batter right now, and it's like, well, didn't you sign him as a two-way player?
Right.
And that video was acting like he was, they're getting a deal. It's like, dude, you're paying $700 million. Obviously, that was an outdated video,
right? Because he was on the Angels.
If they're referencing the Dodgers, they ain't getting no deal. They're paying $700 million
for a guy that just bats.
For a guy that just bats.
Yeah.
And I was telling Aiden before the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, if he was a two-way player, I would understand a bit more, yeah.
I was telling Aiden before the podcast, I'm like, look, if the Guardians got $700 million,
First of all, can you imagine what you could do as a team with that money, first of all?
Yeah. Dude, we could invest in multiple players. We could raise up the entire team. We can go and be like, all right, I want this player, I want this player, I want this player.
This. Maybe renovate the stadium a bit.
Add some more renovations to the stadium, whatever. There's endless things we could do. Yeah. But Dodgers are like this. They're like, like at a strip club, just tossing ones and stuff.
Buku bucks.
Yeah, they're like, well, they're like hundreds instead of ones, but you get my drift. Like, it's crazy. They just throw that money out the door like it's nothing.
But you don't... Okay, let me ask you this, though. You don't see... Again, because of the injuries, realistically, not looking good. But they had to have known, though, $700 million, they see a future. They have to see some sort of future with him. They have to.
Well...
I mean, $700 million, that's...
I remember there was a lot of hype surrounding where he was going to land.
Oh, yeah. I was following that, to a T. I mean, obviously you know that, but
now, look, the Angels suck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They had Mike Trout for years and did nothing with him.
And he struck him out.
Mm-hmm.
He struck out Trout at the World Baseball Classic, but...
That's funny.
And then he proceeded to play for his team, but whatever.
Yeah. But the thing is...
And outpace him in hits, but...
But the thing is, Mike Trout is a good player.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani, good player. But the problem is, if you have one or two good players on a team and nothing else to show for, or not good coaching, you're not going to do anything. Right. It's a waste.
It's a team sport. Yeah.
Well, it's a waste, Aiden. I mean...
Yeah.
When was the last time the Angels were in the playoffs?
I can't remember the time. Like,
let me look that up real quick. Because that has me chat GPT. When was the last time the Angels
and the MLB
were
playoffs
in the playoffs? Let's see. Okay, I mean, not too terrible, but 2014.
Right.
It's been quite some time.
At least a decade, yeah.
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 Yeah, it's wow, they were swept by the Kansas City Royals in the American League Division Series in 2014. I think that was that was the year the Kansas City Royals won a World Series.
Yeah.
Actually, so they were really good that year, but now Kansas City, not as good as they once were, but anyways,
yeah, I mean, I do understand a lot of your points too. They are very, very valid.
Now, I get it. Now, this gets a little personal here, Aiden, so sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're good.
So, yeah, so,
So personal, you said, a little bit personal.
Yeah, so personally, I understand you supporting Shohei Ohtani
Right.
and you like what he does.
Yeah.
However,
work ethic, everything. Yeah.
However, I'm not understanding the Dodgers getup.
Yeah, the
That
jersey
is confusing
is
me.
yes, but the hat, I mean, because I was thrilled about the win. And I'm like, cool, I want to show it off.
Mhm.
And, that was literally my thinking behind it, and that's it.
Yeah,
So,
I get you.
yeah.
But
No, again, it's, for me, it's celebrating the love of baseball itself. That's my thing. To me, he's bigger than just a team.
and like I was saying, you're one of those people that follow certain players wherever they go.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's just, to me, baseball is deeper than just, sometimes, though, it's someone that comes along that makes baseball deeper than just a team. And I feel that Ohtani kind of scratches that, but yeah.
So, anyways, I think that's pretty much it
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
Unless there's anything else you
No.
want to mention, but
No.
So another big topic that's been of conversation this past week is the Signal group chat leak.
Yes.
From the Trump administration. This is from BBC.com. U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has taken responsibility for a group chat in which high-ranking officials planned military strikes in Yemen in the company of a journalist who was inadvertently added. Quote, I take full responsibility. I built the group, Waltz told Fox News on Tuesday, adding it was embarrassing. President Donald Trump and U.S. intelligence chiefs have downplayed the security risks and said no classified material was shared. But Democrats and some Republicans have called for an investigation into what several lawmakers have described as a major breach. Atlantic Magazine editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg reported that he was accidentally added to the Signal chat by a user named Mike Waltz. In his article that broke the story, he says that he saw classified military plans for U.S. strikes in Yemen, including weapons packages, targets, and timing 2 hours before the bomb struck. That content was held back from the piece, like it should have been. Waltz was unable to explain in his Fox News interview how Goldberg came to be on the chat, but contradicting Trump, he said a member of his staff was not responsible and another unnamed contact of his was supposed to be there in Goldberg's place. Quote, we've got the best technical minds looking at how this happened, Waltz continued, adding that Goldberg's number had not been on his phone. Quote, I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy, Waltz said, adding that he had spoken to Elon Musk for help in finding out what happened.
Wow.
And then, of course, we also have a transcript.
Courtesy of Reddit.
Here. Let's go full screen. Oh, boy. That was a weird flash. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
That was something I didn't need to see. It's like haunting a little bit, actually. All right, let's do that because let me adjust the screen. Let me wonder if I can. Oh no, is that? All right. Well, we'll do this and kind of scroll. You guys, yeah. I'll kind of. You know what? I can do this. Blow it up a little bit.
There we go.
All right. So I'll kind of read. So this is from. These are screenshots
from the actual
from the
chat
Signal
itself.
chat.
Yeah.
This is Michael Waltz, team establishing a principals group for coordination on Houthis, particularly over the next 72 hours. My deputy, Alex Wong, is pulling together a Tiger team at deputy/agency chief of staff level following up from the meeting in the sit room this morning for action items, and we'll be ending that out. Well,
later this evening.
Sending that out later this evening.
Yep.
And then please provide the best staff POC from your team for us to coordinate with over the next couple of days and over the weekend. Thanks. And then someone said, named Mar says Mike Needham for state. JD Vance said Andy Baker for VP. TG said Joe Kent for DNI. Scott B said Dan Kantz for Treasury. And Pete Hegseth says Dan Caldwell for DOD.
Yep.
Brian says Brian McCormick for NSC.
And Michael Waltz says.
And then Waltz chimes in again, says team, you should have a statement of conclusions with taskings per the president's guidance this morning in your high side inboxes. State and DoD, we developed suggested notification list for regional allies and partners. Joint staff is sending this a more specific sequence of events in the coming days, and we will work with DoD to ensure COS, OVP, and POTUS are briefed.
Must be able to government members.
And then JD chimed in and says, Team, I'm out for the day going on an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. This is the interesting part that people were pointing out. It says 3%, and this is about the Houthis strike, by the way.
Yeah.
So not to, confuse everyone, just so that you guys are aware of what he's talking about here. But it says 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez. 40% of European trade does. There's a real risk that the public doesn't understand this or why it's necessary. The strongest reason to do this is, as POTUS said, to send a message. But I am not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There's a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. I'm willing to support the consensus of the team and keep these concerns to myself. But there's a strong argument for delaying this a month, doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc.
Right.
And Joe Kent responded, there is nothing time-sensitive driving the timeline. We'll have the exact same options in a month. The Israelis will likely take strikes and therefore ask us for more support to replenish whatever they use against the Houthis. But that's a minor factor. I will send you the unclassed data we pulled on BAM shipping. And then John Ratcliffe responded, from CIA perspective, we are mobilizing assets to support now, but a delay would not negatively impact us, and additional time would be used to identify better starting points for coverage on Houthi leadership.
Gosh, darn.
And then Pete Hegseth chimed in, VP, I understand your concerns and fully support you raising with POTUS.
I think he's talking to Vance here, I think.
Yeah. He's responding basically to what JD's concerns were.
Right.
Important considerations, most of which are tough to know how they play out. Economy, Ukraine peace, Gaza, etc. I think messaging is going to be tough no matter what. Nobody knows who the Houthis are, which is why we would need to stay focused on, number one, Biden failed, and number two, Iran funded.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting a few weeks or a month does not fundamentally change the calculus. Two immediate risks on waiting. This leaks, and we look indecisive, which it did leak.
Yeah, two.
Israel takes an action first, or Gaza ceasefire falls apart. And we don't get to start this on our own terms. We can manage both. We are prepared to execute, and if I had final go or no-go vote, I believe we should. This is not about the Houthis. I see it as two things. One, restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest, which has been a huge thing. You remember they've been firing at American ships while Biden's been president of the United States, and the United States have done nothing.
Jack squat.
And actually prices have gone up because the Houthis
keep attacking these trade ships.
So, of course, they had to go the long way around.
Mm-hmm. But I digress.
So, yeah. Restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest, and two, reestablish deterrence, which Biden cratered. But we can easily pursue, and if we do, I will...
We can easily pause.
Yeah, we could all do reform OPSEC. I welcome other thoughts. And then they kind of go on. I don't know if we necessarily need to read everything.
No. It's just basically all of this was leaked.
And then it shows Pete
That's
Hegseth.
cool. It's going that the F-18 launched, but basically saying that the mission's ready to go, from what I'm understanding.
Well, no, this basically showed
shoot.
when they attacked.
Yeah.
It showed the times that everything happened. So
let's dissect this.
So here's my initial thoughts.
First of all, major national security breach, and I hope to God that no foreign enemy sees this.
Yep.
That is scary.
Well, and here's the thing, Aiden. I think this is interesting because Vance kind of showed that he's disagreeing with the president a little bit here.
Good.
And I don't see why you would disagree with the president here in this case, because
Trump seems like he's of sound mind.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Well, it's not about him being of sound mind necessarily, but it's the fact that, we needed to take out the Houthis.
Yeah.
Because they've been raising prices
and that's
on
what we did.
Everything,
That's what we did. They were going to destroy the economy if we didn't take them out.
Yes, and waiting around and him hawing around not doing it,
thumbs.
That's not going to get the job done.
Right.
That's what Biden did for how many years? It's time to act.
And act now. Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't like that it was leaked, though. I mean,
no. First of all, the American people should have never seen any of the signal messages, right?
Right.
But because this is all confidential stuff.
But what's happened.
Right. So now, we get to talk about it and kind of
got to deal with the fallout of it too.
Right. But it's interesting now. We got kind of some insight into how JD may not.
It is interesting to see how these people talk too.
Yeah.
It is really interesting.
Right. And it's also kind of interesting to see that, hey, JD's not necessarily
agreeing
100% on board with what Trump's doing. Mm-hmm. He may have some disagreements, but of course you're the vice president of the United States. You don't have much say, ultimately. Trump can consult you and ask what your opinion
is. Yeah. But he's the commander-in-chief, not you.
Yeah, he makes those decisions.
Right.
He can ask you, but, it's up to him.
Right.
But we'll find out if there's any more.
One more thing before we go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If I move on to the next thing. I'm scared about the Houthis now, though. What if they get their hands on this?
Yeah. I think it's too late, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they pretty much.
It's out there. They've seen the stories, probably.
No, what I'm saying is that we.
Oh, they were already attacked.
Yeah, we already attacked them.
Yeah, but they can make preparations for the next thing. So it's like.
Well, I mean. But they don't know the specifics.
Right.
They could say, well, we might be attacked again. Well, yeah.
But how? And why and when?
Unless, of course, they decide to let another reporter onto the signal chat who is a very left-leaning reporter who should have never had access to it.
Right.
No reporter should have access to that signal chat.
That is a massive tech failure.
And then there's questions
I hope they consult Elon about that. I really do, because that's ridiculous.
Well, and also the thing is, it's like, okay, you say it's a mistake, Mr. Waltz, but, how do we know that you didn't do this on purpose, right? I don't know. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that,
this is a big mess up,
that he just screwed up. But if something like this happens again, like a year down the road,
then it'll be like,
it's like someone's leaky.
Something's happening here, yeah.
And at that point,
someone don't like Trump.
At that point, you got to oust him, because you got people that are trying to trip Trump up as he's going along. He's trying to get stuff done, and then people on his own team are blocking him.
Same thing with the executive orders. I mean, not the same team, but like the same kind of concept.
Yep. So.
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
Anyway, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then our last headline for the night, we're talking about
again Ukraine.
Yes. So another Ukraine update. We've been on a roll lately. We're talking about Ukraine and Israel. But here's Zelenskyy with a prediction about Putin.
Yeah. Do you want me to read this one, June?
Do you want me to read it, or you read it?
Want me to?
Go ahead.
Since I found it.
Yeah.
So Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has stunningly predicted that Russian President Vladimir Putin would die soon as his health is deteriorating.
This is from Fox News.
Yes. Zelenskyy made the sensational prediction in an interview Wednesday, when the Ukrainian leader also called on the U.S. not to bring Russia in from the global political wilderness in ongoing peace talks aimed at ending the war in Ukraine. Zelenskyy did not appear to go into detail as to why he thinks the 72-year-old Russian strongman may be nearing the end. Last thing. In October, Putin showcased what seemed to be intravenous or IV track marks on his hands while meeting with soldiers, speaking rumors he was undergoing cancer treatment, and the origin of the marks was unclear. And the rest of it was just talking about stuff that we already know about Ukraine. I didn't want to rehash it.
Yeah.
But
that's insane.
Zelenskyy,
I don't
First of all, should we believe anything you say?
Well, and also, what is he trying to say here? Is he trying to say that, we just wait it out.
I think so. Yeah, and then when Putin,
it's like why are we?
And when Putin kicks the bucket,
it's like why are we coming to the table here to talk about a ceasefire? It's like we could just
wait till he dies,
why don't you keep giving us supplies and keep it up until
then he kicks the bucket, and then
But it's like, how do you know that Russia's not gonna just continue?
He's gonna get more desperate too. He seems to forget. More insane as he nears his death.
Well, and also think about this. You see a lot with these countries that are like, struggling financially, like Russia and China. China comes across as and projects itself as being really strong and powerful, but it's a paper tiger. And it's not as scary as people think they are.
All bark and no bite. That's the classic saying.
Now, they could do some damage. Don't get me wrong. They could probably do some damage. But in terms of their economy, they're not that strong.
They're not us.
No.
First of all.
I mean, heck, look at some other countries, like the American dollar compared to the Canadian dollar or the Mexican peso. If you give
yen?
Right.
The yen?
If you give, a Mexican an American dollar,
that was gonna sound like the beginning of a joke.
Yeah, it's like
if you give a Mexican,
if you give a Mexican a dollar, they'll build you a wall. The whole wall will be paid for with just $1 bill. It's like $1.
I'm sorry, I had to because I noticed it. I was like, this is
no Benjamin Franklin's needed. Like, okay.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, you do you, boo. But anyways, yeah, so...
We have the most powerful currency in the world, dude.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
So,
I think also, we've said this before. What's the Zelenskyy guys we're talking about? He just wants to suck as much money from us as he can. That's all he cares about. Dude, he didn't even dress nice for the appointment with Trump at the Oval Office. Or the White House, rather.
And I was...
And a tracksuit. I was like, what?
I was on Trump's side with how he's picking on him because he deserved it, dude. He's coming over begging for money.
And then he threatened us.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah, he's like...
It's a big ocean.
He's like, you don't feel now, but you will later. It's like, what do you mean?
Are you going to attack us? Okay, you can try. See how that goes for you.
It's like, no, we decide our own destiny. Mm-hmm. Not the other way around, bud. So calm down.
If it wasn't for us funding you, you'd be ruled by Russia right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down.
Yep. Well,
you don't hold the cards, as Trump said.
No, he doesn't. And I think he regretted it after that meeting at the Oval Office because it's like, he realized that it didn't look good for him. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, the left-wing media made Trump look like he was the villain.
The Antichrist himself.
The way he was saying stuff. And it's like, no, Trump was in the right there. He said nothing wrong. I mean, you can debate all you want about whether, he should have said that little snarky comment when he got out of the vehicle.
Right.
But I don't care.
Yeah.
If he can't take that little snarky comment from Trump, well, then don't come in over here begging for money.
Right.
Because obviously he came into it
$300 billion we've already given to this thing.
He came into it wanting more money rather than a deal to end the fighting.
And minerals.
Yeah. Trump had a deal set up. And people were calling Trump a Russian puppet or whatever. It's like, look, he was working right there with Zelenskyy trying to get a deal done. Then Zelenskyy came in and got too big for money. He's too big for his britches.
Right.
And he acts like he's bigger than Trump. It's like, dude, you're like a midget compared to Trump. First of all, if we're talking about, height here.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I don't know, guys.
He's a weasel. He's a weasel.
Again, another, we'll see coming up whether, we see an end to the fighting in Israel and also in Ukraine.
Like, whether I change my views on
whether Aiden will finally remove that dumbass Dodgers hat. Like seriously. Here's me. I thought Aiden was gonna I wore this thinking Aiden would wear another Guardians like jersey or something. No, he wears a Dodgers jersey.
Let's make Jared mad day. Let's make Jared
mad day. Don't want to make me angry.
Oh man, everything is shit in the world.
The rage I feel right now.
That was a fun show.
Well,
Wait, hold on. What was that thing that you said though about? Well, at least they have. Oh, it's about Canada.
oh yeah.
Tell him.
Oh yeah. So it's like, well, so first of all, the Toronto Blue Jays, they're in the American League for somehow.
Weird reason,
and
right?
They're in Canada. So it's like, well, here's the deal. How about you become the 51st state and you stay in the American League? You know, we'll make a deal.
Right.
I mean, we'll either shift you into the National League if you refuse to become the 51st